Gary, a 2-2 draw. How do you go about analysing that performance?
It's a tricky one to analyse because I felt there was lots of swings in the game that made it a very, very kind of erratic game in terms of, we didn't control. Well, we did control for long periods second half, but certainly first half was far too bitty for my liking and not enough fluidity to what we were trying to do. I mean, we took a bit of a gamble. I was a little bit edgy before the game because what we've done recently has been pretty good, and we just felt, with a bit of freshness after the game at the weekend, we just felt we didn't quite get on enough second balls and pass the ball well enough against QPR to go and try to win the game. And I wanted to see if we could do that at home against a side like Preston that last year were the types of sides we'd struggle against, sides that would drop in a little bit, make it difficult for us, let us have the ball a wee bit and then see if we could break them down. And so we put a few more attacking players onto the pitch. And it kind of happened how we thought it might happen. We were worried if we didn't get our passing going that we might be a little bit more open to the counter, and we certainly were. But I felt as though it was a fairly even first half. We just didn't really get going, and then to go a goal down to a set piece was incredibly frustrating. That's twice in 2 games, and certainly wasn't good enough to let a ball go across almost a 6-yard box through lots of bodies and them ended up scoring. So I was not very happy about that one. We then come back and, of course, score an excellent set piece of our own. And that's one thing we have done recently. We seem to come back when we're down. We haven't been down too often, but when we have been, we've come back and certainly been very, very competitive, which is not something we did an awful lot last year. So pleased about that. Very disappointed again to go 2-1 down, to concede. I think it was a sloppy counter. We gave the ball away and they ended up breaking, and we ended up having to make a foul. I thought it was a really sloppy goal. I think the lads have said it was a deflection. And I'd have to look at it again, but I was a bit disappointed. It seemed to go in the middle of a goal, and I couldn't quite see if Legsy had been wrong-footed. So at that point, I wondered whether we were going to really get back into it. I gave them 5 minutes second half. I warned them at half time, you've got 5 minutes to change it, otherwise some of you are going to come off. Don't be one of those that come off, really. That was the warning, if you like. And as soon as we changed it, we really gained control. And from there on in, we score a fantastic equaliser in Shea. Great ball in from Groundsey. I thought he was excellent tonight, and it was a fantastic cross that he's put some excellent balls in tonight from wide areas, and that looked very dangerous with Dukey in the box. And then Shea controls a volley into the bottom corner fantastically well. So those aspects I was really pleased with. Second half, we put them under an awful lot of pressure to the point where they end up putting another centre half on to deal with Dukey, because again he was a real physical threat and a handful, and certainly looked even better when Shea got around him. Bit disappointed we couldn't quite find the winning goal. But again, Sheff Wednesday, we win the game late on. Today we take a draw, but we could have easily lost the game late on. So sometimes you'll take a point, analyse the first half, be pleased with the second half, and take the point.
With 1 game left to go for the international break, is it about maintaining that second half momentum ahead of Blackburn?
Well, it is, and again we took a gamble today, and we'll learn an awful lot from it, and we knew we would. We put 2 or 3 players into the team that hadn't been in the team regularly, and some of those would have done well enough perhaps to try and stay in it, and some of them might not have done well enough to stay in it. But overall, I was like I said, really pleased with the second half. Big physical ask for some of them, and that's why we changed so many. I thought that Dukey would struggle to get through the game, but as it was, we tried to keep him up high and central and not have to do too much work. But because he's such a willing lad, he'll work and he'll chase and he'll do everything. And he looks like he's getting stronger and stronger to me. So, but it's important that we keep that momentum. It was important we didn't lose tonight as well, because that's now 10 games of only 1 defeat. Which I don't know whether Norwich play tomorrow, but certainly Norwich are the only other team, and they're a recently relegated Premier League team. So we're up there in good company, and we keep picking points up.